what's up, Candy Ken? What's up, Baby J? How's it going?
Not today.
Candy Ken and Baby J.
It's Candy Ken.
Welcome to the Candy Ken Show.
All right, everybody, we're back to the Candy Ken Show with my beautiful wife, Baby J, and we have the best guest ever. I am so fucking excited, everybody. Jeremy Fragrance,
Jeremy
everybody.
Fragrance, everybody.
I'm not Justin Bieber. I'm not, I don't know, Donald Trump, but I'm the number one in my field. I think that's special. We have fitness influencers, we have makeup influencers, but I'm the number one worldwide for fragrance. In case you don't know what I do, I'm Jeremy Fragrance, and I met the brother of Candy, and now I'm here. It's so great. Thank you for having me here.
Of course, man. We've been so excited. Your content it reminds me a lot of myself because
crazy.
you're like a black sheep.
Yes.
You're like, you don't do anything like anybody else. You do your own thing and you don't give a fuck about other people's opinion, the haters.
I don't have a management. I don't have a boss. I have financial freedom, and
Yep.
I make these videos in a very intense state with a still good heart behind it. So that's why they work so well. I post a lot. So this is also one of the things I can give people as an advice. I think you know it too, or I don't know if you do it as well. But people like Picasso or my perfumer Alberto Moreas, yes, they're great in their field, but they also produce a lot of their creations. My perfumer, he has the top seller fragrances, Acqua di Gio, CK1, but he also made just so many fragrances. Picasso, as far as I know, also made a lot of creations. So I also do about 20 content pieces per day. And tomorrow, only 2 more or less exist and remain. And also what I think is smart for people to know is, yes, we understand that this energetic, crazy, like I would be on drugs and I don't take drugs, it's so great, vibe of me is fantastic, but it's just what works. And also, if you look at these two people, and your brother showed me your videos, I was impressed by the intensity of your videos. And then I met you now, and I said, okay, he also understands it. He's also normal in his brain. He's focused and very good, and it works together with you, it seems. And that's why you also have to understand, we know how the system at the moment works, for example, for attention bringing or gathering attention. And you understand it, and I understand it.
Absolutely, 100%. And I don't believe in balance. I hate balance. If I do something, I give it my full heart.
Wenn schon, denn schon.
100%. And I saw that your morning routine.
Oh yes, in Venice Beach.
This is what I'm about. I wake up, I cold plunge, I go to the gym, I get shit done. Discipline is life. Jesus is king. I'm wearing my Jesus necklace because I love that about you.
Thank you.
Your message is so big and so inspiring. You help so many people, and especially I know what it's like to be doing this shit in Europe. It is different than here.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. The hate, the people are crazy over there.
I think when you speak about people like, I just say Justin Bieber, dann sage ich in Deutsch erstmal, sei du erstmal Justin Bieber. For you guys that don't speak German, that means you first be Justin Bieber, then you know how it feels to be such a popular person. But even when they hear this now, they don't understand it, just like I didn't understand it when somebody like Jim Carrey mentioned something in that regard. But by the way, that video you mentioned, my morning routine, it's on my YouTube channel as the starting video. I filmed it in Venice Beach. And as far as I know, this is my first podcast in America, and the second podcast, you know, I have it on Wednesday with Cody Ko.
Oh,
on Wednesday.
Oh my god.
No, wait, he did a video about me. Yeah.
On Wednesday, I have it at 2 p.m. And what's interesting, I was in Venice Beach, and I said, wait, Cody Ko, because I heard he lives here. I called him, and then he called me back, and I sent him my address, and he said, I'm just a few minutes away. So he moved to Malibu, for example. So it seems to be the Hollywood of Californian, the Malibu. It seems like people move there. I don't know what you think about the different areas. I still like Venice Beach. I also like this year. We drove through Sunset Boulevard, but I also am at my friend's place in Malibu. It's also fantastic.
I mean, America in general.
Just a side note, because it's so special, and I'm not allowed to lie.
Okay.
So what I tell you now is the truth.
We always speak the truth. This podcast is only real talk.
The truth podcast.
You speak the truth.
Well, and if I unconsciously did not say the truth in the past, it's different because you don't know, obviously, but you don't say it again wrong. But what I'm telling you now is so funny. I woke up at my friend's apartment. He has 2 there, and I have 1 of those. And the first person I met when I woke up in the morning, my morning routine, I also say hello to people. The first human I met was Charlie Sheen. He lives in the same complex building as he does. It was wow, America, funny.
Yeah, that's LA for you.
That's so
Yes.
LA.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Also, one more thing. I saw an interview of yours, and you said you're not the guy or the boy that used to be bullied in high school. You're now Jeremy fucking
Yes.
Fragrance,
Yes.
and this is people always like they call me Jakob, and I'm like I'm no fucking Jakob.
Yes.
This is not me. I'm Candy Ken now. If I say I'm Candy Ken, I'm Candy Ken.
Yes. Or you have an education in professors, then you are suddenly the smart professor, and before that you were the stupid kid from that street. Or you say no, you're the Polish person, or you're the Ukrainian person. You rather decide yourself or listen to your inner voice, who you are, and if you have a strong enough, which you have, because everybody knows who they are deep in, but you can shape yourself. And like you say, it's also smart to have a type of a goal on who you decide to be, and then just like a ship, it goes in that direction. So I say I am Jeremy Fragrance, the #1 fragrance influencer worldwide. Punkt. And I say I'm the #1, I'm the best, I'm the champion. It works much better than saying the other things. So I suggest you to rather speak positive with you, because this is one of the 10 things that shape you, your inner dialogue. What do you say to yourself the whole day? The inner dialogue, what do you say to yourself? And if that is good, #1, let's go. Geil, weiter geht's. #1, let's go. My mindset is so simple. It's almost like Beavis and Butthead simple. I'm also intelligent when I have my MacBook time, email time, but otherwise it's the self-dialogue is so simple. #1, let's go. Even
course.
if I have some thoughts that are not, that just want to dive in. I know that the thoughts exist, but I exchange them with, let's say, #1, let's go. I just throw it in my brain.
But that's not very European. So what happened? When did you change?
I think a smart approach is when you want to get better at something is you just look who the best are, and you look what they do. So if I as a kid, I didn't want to learn from, I had the video cassettes because my brother, he's 4 years older. There was an advantage. He video recorded Michael Jackson. So I wanted to learn to dance like Michael Jackson and not like XYZ human in my city where I was raised. And because then I want to dance like Usher or something. Because if you have these high standards, you learn how to do it. Because you asked me, that's not German thinking. Well, many of that mindset stuff is popular in America, I think, through things like The Secret or Tony Robbins, people like this. And America is the world leader, I think, in terms of entertainment and self-development type of stuff. And yeah, but I also read books from or listen to a German professor, Dr. Karl Probst, who lives now in South America because he's an expert at raw diets. And I want to know, okay, and you eat sulfur? You eat that yellow powder? Okay, I try that because you say so. And it's he found it in an ancient Folianz. He calls it Folianten, alte Bücher. I said, wow. And I tried it. So I look for the best in their field and then learn from them if I want to learn in that field. And that, just like Steve Jobs, because my main field is fragrance, but just like Steve Jobs, he learned calligraphy with the writing, and he thought, what do I need this for? And at some point he noticed, that's what I can use it for the iPad and writing. So sometimes you learn something, like I learned how to dance, and I think as a fragrance critique, it's not smart to be, you don't have to be a good dancer, but now people like their TikTok stuff, and I can include dancing into my TikToks, and suddenly it works.
Man.
I'm surprised by the pleasant atmosphere here.
Of course. I try to make this myself, like how I feel, and the unicorn room.
Hey, I have a question to you, bro.
Of course.
What about the upcoming Barbie movie? What is your opinion about that?
Oh, I'm very upset for them not calling me.
Okay. So you could have both opinions. You could either appreciate it or say, why not me?
I know. Well, the thing is, I always saw myself as Candy Can and never as Ken. Because Ken is like a basic bitch who follows the rules and dresses a certain way.
Yeah.
I'm not Ken. I'm the Candy version because I can be fun. I can dress up how I want. I'm free in my mind. And I feel Ken is like an alpha male that is like stuck in its ways. So I'm Candy Ken.
He's adjusting to the others.
Yeah, but I am excited.
What would you say? I think that's interesting for your viewers. I rather give your audience advice from me. And I want to ask you, what do you think you do better than any other human on earth?
Oh, I am the bravest. This is easy. I might be not like the most talented or most gifted, but I am very, very brave. I put myself in very uncomfortable positions. I dress myself uncomfortably, and I force myself not to think about other people's opinion, and I just go with what I love to do, and I follow my dream.
How is it grounded in what? Because it's in your success grounded, or where you take the push it through attitude?
Discipline. It's
a
grounded.
muscle, like approaching, let's say, different girls to say, okay, I'm single, I like to talk with you, hello. And it's like a muscle you train, you get very strong with it, meaning...
It's daily training, and you have to daily remind you not to be like everybody else, because it's so easy. It's much easier to be like everybody else and blend in and be basic. It's really hard to be like us, like unicorns, like, because people question you, people hate you. You always have to you're an outsider a little bit, especially if you're not successful right away. I was Candy Ken for 7 years, unsuccessful, and only success with TikTok. Before I was just like, in Austria, I was walking down the streets and people are like, haha, Lady Gaga, taking photos for their WhatsApp group and making fun of me every single day. So I have
Sorry, guys, 1 second.
I have a big frustration because I grew up in Bregenz, Austria, and people made fun about me my whole life, my entire life.
Okay.
And one day I was like, I'd rather die being Candy Can than being like everybody else. I don't want to be like everybody else. I want to be me.
This is a good thing that your listeners can learn from, how to get motivated, because the being in the middle is often what people are satisfied and they don't grow. So there are two ways to grow massively. Either you have the Candy Can story, like, let's say, or like the Brazilian soccer player, football, we say in German. Like, you want to get out of this, or you don't want this anymore, not anymore type of thing. Jetzt zeige ich euch, wer ich bin, aber jetzt richtig, which means something like, now this, not anymore. Now I show you, and now I stick to it. And I have this decision. I don't want to live in the slums of Rio de Janeiro anymore. I become a world-class football player. So this is one option. You don't want this, like a magnet gets pushed away. That's a very good motivation. Or the other one is just you have massive goals, which comes with the other option as well. And you say, okay, I'm here. I want to be the most successful real estate salesman in the history of written sales. Then you immediately notice, okay, I live now here in let's say a city in Austria. I have to get out of here. I have to go. Where do I go? I think I go to New York City. I knock on the door of the wealthiest, best company, let's say Sotheby's in New York City, in Manhattan. I work for free. 23 hours symbolically. I only sleep symbolically for you 1 hour per day. You show them your hustle will. And that's how I think many people become successful. These two options. You either don't want this to be anymore, a certain situation. You don't want to be poor anymore. Like this artist who gifted me a painting in Miami. He grew up as he was homeless in Atlanta, and not anymore. And he manifests his anger in his paintings, and he gets paid to splash orange colors on a Rolls-Royce brand new, and you notice with any splash he's and he manifests his I don't want this anymore. So that's a motivation. You don't want it anymore. And then the big thinking, I want to be the best in my field. And that is also great, how we could help the people today. There was Madonna, Michael Jackson, and certain like this. Nowadays, you can be the Candy Can, the best superstar in his field. You can be the Pokemon superstar, the best expert for Pokemon, or the best expert for organic raw food. And that gives you such a satisfaction, and you think also very good about you. If I say I'm the best, most popular influencer, that's a lie. But I say I'm the number one. Ching, ching, ching. I like that already. In my field, the fragrance is good. So you say, okay, I think we can help the people with a little bit of that education, because people nowadays don't want to become Boris Becker. They don't want to be tennis player or astronauts. They want to be influencers like you or me. And also a good idea is to look what you already naturally consume after your so-called boring job. When you get home, what do you consume so much? And then you could say, I look so much at this Dragon Ball universe. I love it so much. I love it so much. Then you start making after your job the Dragon Ball stuff with burning passion. And at the start, I wouldn't tell people so much about it. Just make a few videos and more and more. And then after 1 or 2 months, you can start telling people, because at the start, for some people, it can be volatile. Let's say if your older brother sees you talking about Dragon Ball and he says, why are you doing this? But, if you would have not told him, and 3 months later, suddenly you get your first money from Google. Look, I got $700. I speak about Dragon Ball. And he said, okay, young brother, good stuff. So this is also something I would suggest people.
So you think people need to find their niche or what they love, and then be the best in that field?
Yes, it's also, this term is becoming more popular in the whole world. Ikigai. This is the Asian way of living. I think Japanese way of living. It is something of a mixture of 5 things. What are you great at? What benefits the people? What is ethically correct? And then you find that one thing for you. And that's your ikigai, your lifelong journey. Because for me, for example, it's about the legacy nowadays. Luckily, I have my financial stuff finished by now. The only thing I like to buy is certain real estates, but this is pretty unemotional. I also can just rent them, own them. But for me, it's now about bigger things. What are bigger things? For example, like you are in front of me with the girlfriend or future wife. I want that. I want to live in America. I don't live yet in America.
Why?
Because I have to tell you, I'm not vaccinated, and I couldn't get into America 3 years for now, about 3 years. I have 2 apartments already in America and 2 companies, but I didn't want to also just go in for pressure. But now I'm coming to America because I'm looking daily for an apartment for myself. It's now long in-depth talk, but I will move to America. I'm stable financially, so hard. And I like it so much. I love the idea of America, big thinking, everybody's equal, von unten nach oben, from down to top. This type of, I don't know if that's exactly idea, but I think that's the idea of America. I like it. It's my favorite ideal of general popular country ideas. And then you think, what happens when you die? And I think that far. So the legacy type of thing. And I want to follow the teachings of Jesus, and I want to spread this message of him. And when I don't exist anymore, I like that people will think of me as the Jeremy Fragrance guy that followed the teachings of Jesus. I think that's it. That's very pleasant for me.
And beautiful.
Yeah.
What do you think is happening to society? Because when I look at people, I feel like they're getting weaker. They're getting They look all the same, especially in Europe, Switzerland, Austria, Germany. Everybody dresses the same, works the same. They drive the same car. There's no colors.
I have to say something that is very... In German we say, denn sie wissen nicht, was sie tun. That's from the Bible, because they don't know what they do, or how you say it in English from the Bible. It's a Bible phrase. Forgive them, they don't know what they do. But what's also to me very relevant, they don't know what is done to them. By the food companies, you can make people so fat and lazy, and they have no choice, because the brain loves this. The
endorphins, boom,
the
boom,
endorphins
boom, boom, boom.
from the TikTok and your brother and you know how to do it. This fast-paced thing, the brain loves to soak this type of content. And so, because Candy asked, what is the reason why people look similar and don't have that drive? Because food is relatively cheap and tasty food. And after COVID, people stayed home and eat more because it's pleasant and it's fantastic to eat. But you can become also lazy and fat, and it's a downward spiral. And that combined with the drug-like aspect of the phone, it makes you fat, lazy,
and the media.
And
the media is like, it's okay.
And
be
passive.
fat, be lazy. It's okay to be fat.
This is, of course, a big topic. If you could think you are the ruler of the world, which you are not, you can say you're a king, but I mean, you guys, I think the people that listen to it, you know what I mean. Let's say the president of the world, he can easier control fat, lazy, passive people than not these type of people.
Than athletes.
Let's say courageous, athletic, educated people. Let's say
that's very dangerous.
7 billion people are courageous.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be hardcore. Athletic and educated.
And eating clean. You cannot control them. It's very dangerous.
By the way, I just for you, also a tip. And for you guys, I learned that I was on a TV show in Germany. The magic of 3. When I explain stuff, I mostly do 3 things, because when I did it naturally. I learned it explaining fragrances, for example. This is a sexy fragrance for evening out with a sweet vibe. Sexy, evening, sweet. And it smells citrusy. It's too much already. So when I speak like I did now, for example, educated, athletic, courageous. That's it. Because I know when you explain very fast to people, they can't remember more than 3 things very well. Just for you that you heard it. When you explain to people something, I would suggest also when you do bullet points on an email, often it's good to do 3 or 5 or the top 10 list, or the number 1, just the best, or top 10 is what people also love, or the magic of 3.
Man, so how do we save the world, Jeremy? What do we do?
Okay.
How do we make people strong? I love your message. This is like what I do too. Like I try to empower people, make them strong and believe in themselves, and find a passion, but they're so lost.
Wow,
they are lost.
I'm impressed by you.
Yeah, and being rich is not enough. I have no desire to it's about legacy, and it's about your impact that you have on culture and on other humans, and that is the only thing that matters.
And don't forget, I asked a very popular person in Germany who also knows worldwide popular people, and I asked her why sometimes they got into the drug and stuff, and she mentioned something important. Well, you sometimes don't know why they got so famous, what they had to do to become so famous, what type of contracts they had to do become famous. So this also for you to listen to that. On the way to the top, yes, you can do the signature symbolic things like the golden Rolex or the penthouse in New York City, but don't do it in terms of slaving yourself to something, or you did something where oh man, they have me in their hands, because then you can have $732 million on your bank account, but I can never really truly speak to the camera because I know, I crossed the red line and these people know it, and God knows it. I'm done. It's already hell on earth. And that's why it's not only about money. And if we go back to the question, which I don't know the answer yet, what I will tell you, but you said, how do we save the world?
Exactly.
I think Jesus also said that. No, I don't know if he said it, but sometimes it's also what the generation before you did. Sometimes you have to simply, I think, suffer for it. It's a balance, or it is. And I have to rewind that because I'm careful about what is written in the Bible and what not. But let's think, I'm not a politician, but if you think the society is right now, I think they're pretty smart, the people nowadays, because of internet.
Yeah, the new generation.
Yeah. And we are a lot of humans, but I think we could still make it work in terms of using the planet. So I think we could make it work while we still so many humans. And I think we should have a global type of mindset. And I think the easiest to understand mindset would be the mindset of America, let's say, just like global, democratic from down to top, because I don't know how India thinks. I don't know how Russia thinks. My parents are from Poland, both. But the very easiest, I think I extra made it a little bit complicated now. The easiest of easiest is love yourself like you love others. Number one, Jesus. Love yourself like you love others. You wouldn't, well, unless you hate yourself, then you do something with a knife against you. But if you are one country, you don't have atomic bombs against yourself. If you love yourself, you understand. Liebe dich selbst wie deinen Nächsten. That would be a good ending point, bro.
Well, it needs more Jeremys in this world. Thank you so much for coming. And I think education is key, and that is why I do this podcast, is to talk to people like you, so we can raise more awareness. We can have more people be like, hey, maybe I am not living up to my potential. Maybe there's a bigger meaning in life. Maybe I want to find my niche and be the number one in something, because what else are you going to do? And I think you're raising awareness, you're educating people with your content. And that is what I'm trying to do with this podcast, and I think that's the only thing we can do. And
Baby J, I wanted to ask you before you came, because I will leave in about 2 minutes. Thank you for that, bro.
Of course,
what you mentioned. I thought we ended with that, but then she came. I want to ask her, what do you love about him?
Oh my gosh. What do I love about Candy Ken?
I would say his energetic side, and then later also the cuddle with me babe side, and his entrepreneurial style, I think.
Yeah, I think I would say that I love his drive.
Yeah.
He's so motivating, and he's just able to pick me up when I need to, and just like even himself, and that for me is like crazy. Like, he's just on another level, you know, like this guy has no bad days. Like, there's no bad days.
I saw one video of this man. I said, fuck, this man has energy.
Yeah. And it's like, and even when you think he's like coming down, no, like you thought wrong. Like, he's all the way up.
Girls like successful men.
and driven men.
And it means succession. So it's continuous. Every day you do the culture in general. And
every morning.
Keep going. You keep going.
No rest days, no days off, work every day. This is what we're here for. Yeah. I hope you never stop, Jeremy. Please, never let them get you. And for everybody listening, if you're like on the edge, if you want to do it, but something is holding you back, this is your signal. This is your sign
to do it.
Look, I'm a millionaire with talking about fragrances. I got so much recognition. I feel fantastic. This camera just went off, and he's the Candy Can guy. Look, we're living examples of such unusual stuff, and we have so much fun doing it, and we earn money doing it. It's fantastic, and we have good heart, intuition, ethic behind it. It's win-win-win situation.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Jesus
That's
Jesus is
amazing.
king. Thank you
Jesus
so
is
much.
King. Shout out to Jeremy. Woo!
I was surprised by
Danke.
the
Dankeschön.
Just
Vielen
sweet.
Dank.
And yeah, check out his fragrance. He brought me some the number one fragrance.
By Alberto Morias.
That's right.